Hello team, good morning. And what are the materials available for preparation for CCSP? Then we'll basically go through some sample practice questions. That's the main agenda actually. We'll basically go through some questions of the CCSP examination, which will help you to understand how the examination may look like, or how you have to have your thought process. Okay, that's it. Now, as most of the people know, team, the CCSP stands for Certified Cloud Security Professional. And when you go for CCSP, the first thing I want to say is that, like, starting from the last from 2022 August, the examination had undergone a very good change, and after that the examination had become even more challenging and more interesting to learn actually. And currently, regarding this examination, there is a lot of topics they have added to the new curriculum. Plus, they have made this topics in more of a industry relevant, on to the mark latest topics are already added. Okay, and as of now, like the same way before, here now also we have a total of 6 domains in CCSP. Unlike CSSP, here we have only 6 domains to learn, starting from the cloud concepts, architecture and design, cloud data security, cloud platform and infra security, cloud application security, cloud security operations, and legal risk and compliance. So we have a total of 6 domains currently for the CCSP examination. So first of all, who can go for this exam? That's the first thing I want to tell you. As most people know, when you go for a CCSP examination, okay, like many people ask me one question, that, so Krish, I'm not having any cloud understanding, or I'm not having any cloud knowledge, even though I'm working in security, or even though I'm working in a lot of things for quite a long time, but I don't have a cloud computing understanding. Can I go for CCSP? I recommend no. The reason is because if you are not aware of at least one cloud platform like AWS or Azure or GCP or Alibaba, it can definitely be a challenging exam for you, because this exam is definitely like the CISSP, where we are testing about the enterprise security governance, risk and compliance, and those kind of stuff. But this is specifically applicable for cloud computing and cloud activities. So obviously, whatever you're learning here is specific to cloud computing. So it is mandatory that if you want to go for a CCSP, you must be having at least a intermediate, basic to intermediate level knowledge of the any one of the cloud platform. There is no mandate for one particular platform. At least one cloud platform you must be aware of. That is actually very important. The next thing is that, as per the IC square, this is what the experience requirements they are telling us. That means that if you want to go for CCSP, you must have at least 5 years of experience in IT. This is what the first thing they were telling you. You must have at least 5 years of working experience in IT, and out of these 5 years, you must have a 3 years in the information security domain, and out of that, 1 year must be in any one of the domain of the CCSP, like you must be working in cloud computing. So now, so Krish, can I basically go for the examination without this experience requirements? Yes, you can go for. Even though if you don't meet this experience requirements, you can definitely go for CCSP. There is no problem on that. The only difference is that if you basically go for CCSP examination and pass the exam, but you don't have the proper experience, you will get something called as an associate of IC square certification. That's one point you have to keep in mind when you basically go for CCSP or CISSP. And if you don't have the proper experience that they have mentioned, definitely you will be able to only apply for something called as a associate of IC square certification. And after that, they will give you 6 years duration time to get your proper 5 years experience. But if you already have an experience with basically meeting these requirements, then you can directly apply for endorsement, and you will be able to get CCSP certified. The reason why I am quickly saying all these things is because if you go through my previous YouTube videos, I have mentioned a lot about the CCSP examination and all, so you can just go through that, and that's why I'm just going a bit rush on this particular things. Okay, so this is the experience requirements we are having. And this is not a CAT based exam like CIS. When you basically go for CISSP, it's a complete CAT based exam, but CCSP is not a CAT based exam actually. So it's, you have to answer all the questions. It's not like you can answer some few of it. When CCSP, as of now, we have a 150 questions. Previously it was like 125 questions. In the new exam pattern, you can see that for CCSP you have to answer exactly 150 questions in 4 hours. So what happens if you go for CISSP? If you go for CISSP, out of the questions, if you basically, when you get the passing mark, or when you basically get a decent score on the domains, and once the computer feels that you have the skill proper, after analysis, they will stop the exam. At the point they feel that you have passed, you can pass the exam. But at the same time, if you go for CCSP, you have to write all the 150 questions. That is mandatory. You have to write all the 150 questions. And You can write these questions in actually total 4 hours. Okay, these questions you have to write in totally 4 hours. Okay, and out of these, many people have a confusion that, so Krish, I always say that when you basically go for the examination, you can see there is 150 questions, right? Out of this 150 questions, 100 questions is basically where they will check you, they will basically score, give you a score. And 50 questions, they will actually don't, this is for research purposes, there is no score for this 50 questions. You are getting scored only for the only for the total 100 questions. So most people have a doubt that, so Krish, if I basically write the first 100 questions, will I be able to pass the exam? No, because this will be mixed up. That means you have to write all the 150 questions. You cannot basically go for one particular question or answer. Okay, you have to make sure you go for all the 150 questions if you want to crack the examination. Out of that, they will only evaluate 100 questions. The rest is basically for research purposes. Okay, the passing score for this examination is actually 700, but they will not tell you the passing score. That's a key point. They will not tell you what is the score you have got. They will tell you either you have passed or they will tell you either you have failed. They will not basically tell you what is the score you have received. If you pass, they will simply tell you congratulations, you have passed the exam. And if you fail, they will tell you that this is basically the issues which has happened, like these are the domains where you are weak. That is, they will tell you. Okay, and finally, this examination can be written, as of now, this examination can be written only from the Pearson VUE exam center. That means that now, if you go for a AWS exam or CCSK exam or CCAK exam or any of this kind of stuff, you can write those examinations from your home or office also. You can write the exam remotely via a proctored. But if you basically go for CCSP, you have to go to the IC square approved Pearson VUE testing center, and from there only you will be able to write the exam. Okay, if you give your pin code, and the IC score will help you to find the exam centers near your place in the website. Okay, this is the overview of the examination part. Even now there is one better offer is running. So basically what happens now, normally what happens is that when you go for any IC score examination, you will get only one attempt. That means if you pay, like for example, this examination will cost you around $600 plus tax will come around in the examination for CCSP. But what, when you go for the exam, you write the exam once, and if you fail the exam, you have to wait for a few days and you have to rebook the exam by paying the full amount. But now there is an offer called as peace of mind. Okay, we have something called as a peace of mind. That means that when you are buying the exam voucher, that's a very important point. Okay, when you are buying the exam voucher, okay, when you're buying the exam voucher, if you basically purchase the peace of mind voucher also as a part of it, you cannot do it later. When you're purchasing the voucher for CCSP, you have to purchase an extra voucher, additional voucher as a part of it, called as a peace of mind voucher. Once you purchase this peace of mind voucher as a part of the CCSP exam voucher, you can write the exam one time, and if you fail the exam, you will be able to write the exam once again without any other cost. But the peace of mind offer also will cost you. Normally what happens, that in this is the cost which is coming actually. When you go for CCSP, the examination cost is around $600 plus tax. I told you this is basically the examination cost. You can see here $600 plus tax will come, and the peace of mind offer is actually $200 always. But now what happens, as a part of the Cyber Monday sale, okay, as a part of the Cyber Monday sale, the uh, the peace of mind offer only, not the exam voucher, I repeat, not the exam voucher. Exam voucher is still this particular same cost only for that particular peace of mind voucher. They are basically offering you a 50% discount. That means that you can purchase the CCSP examination voucher plus the CCSP peace of mind voucher, like in a 599 plus $99 total, plus tax will come for sure based on the country. But this is how it works. But this offer is all like normally this offer is only for 1 month. That means that, see, now as of now this offer is like this. If you purchase your exam voucher before November 30th, okay, if you purchase your exam voucher before 19th, if you before November 30th, you can write the exam. Your first attempt will be before December 31st. Your first attempt must be before December 31st. And just in case if there is something goes wrong and you have to write the exam once again, you can write the exam before February. So the one best part is that previously, they have announced this for only 1 month, but I can see that for the last few months they are keeping on extending it every month. But hopefully we can expect maybe they will extend it also. But as of now, there is one more good offer. Is this is the 50% off for the peace of mind voucher. Okay, That means this save this page thing, this page is very important or you very useful for you. That means that when you go for this examination, if you click on this link, okay, if you click on this link and if you basically get this voucher, examination voucher plus $99 peace of mind voucher also, you can get 2 attempts in the examination. That definitely is a good idea. That, you know, it's always a safer side play for sure. One more thing I want to add as a part of it is that I can see that many people on Telegram or some other social media platforms will approach you and tell you that they will give you discount vouchers for this. They will give you the exam booking. They will give you dumps. A lot of people on LinkedIn, Telegram, and multiple platforms are basically trying to spam you with that. Please do not fall for any of those things. If you want to purchase any IC2 examination voucher, go to the official website. Do not go for any third-party sites which is offering you some massive discounts until unless it's authorized by IC Square. Okay, so please make sure if you're purchasing the examination voucher, only go for the official IC Square portal. That's very important. From here, you can click and you can go to the Pearson VU and you can get the voucher. Okay, that's it. Okay, now team, as I told you, when you basically go for this examination, so the next thing what people ask me is that, Krish, what materials we have to refer for this? If you want to basically go for a CCSP examination, what materials you have to refer? So team, I'm just giving an idea on this. If you want, when you're going for CCSP examination, you have to make sure that there are multiple textbooks available. Okay, for CCSP, there are multiple textbooks available in the market. Like for example, the CCSP, CBK, fourth edition, then you have something CCSP official study guide, then the CCSP all-in-one. Like this, you have multiple textbooks available for this examination perspective, but it's completely okay that you can select any one of this. Don't go for all of them and take your time a lot on this. You can basically go for either one of it. Do not go for all the textbooks. You can maybe, it's not about confusing you, but it will basically, make take a lot of time from you. That's a major reason I don't prefer you to go for all the textbooks. But what the book I prefer is that, what this particular textbook I prefer is that I prefer the CCSP CBK Common Body of Knowledge 4th edition. This is what I recommend for the current exam pattern, but it's always up to you. And don't think, okay, now this particular person on LinkedIn told me that the other book is the best one, or the particular person on this particular webinar told me this is the best one. Don't worry about that. You can go for any of the books, but what I personally recommend, which covers all the things in proper way, is what the CCSP CBK 4th edition. Okay, that's the best one you can go for. But textbooks are just to strengthen your concepts. So initially you must get a proper conceptual understanding. For example, as you all know, in when you go for IC square examination like CCSP or CISSP, they never give you a direct question. They will give you, most of the questions are scenario based. That means they try to test your English skills more than simply just uh, giving you a question. So it can be challenging for sure. So how much questions you can practice maximum, that is also good for you. And also make sure that when you go for this examination, never memorize things. Don't try to memorize things. I have seen many people make a mistake that, so Krish, I have completely, I mean, many people message me on LinkedIn also, Krish, I have completely memorized the textbook. No, so now can I go for the exam? Will I be able to crack the exam? The answer is no, team. If you only go for the textbook and don't understand the concepts clearly, if you try to memorize, there's a very less chance you clear the exam. The reason is because for CCSP, you need to have an understanding of the concepts. Let me give an example. Now, if I'm telling you, let's suppose that in the cloud computing, we have something called as a IaaS. We have a IaaS, we have a PaaS, we have a SaaS. Okay, so if you go to the textbook, you will get a fair understanding of what is an IaaS, what is a PaaS, what is a SaaS and all. But how does it affect the security? What kind of challenges you're facing when you basically go for each of them? What are the mitigation techniques or what are the controls we have for all of these things? In some particular use cases, what additional measures you have to take, like those kinds of concepts you have to be clear. So conceptual understanding is what primarily important for CCSP. Get the concepts right. Don't try to memorize, and get the concepts right. The second thing which people always say is that, so Krish, I'm an AWS professional or I'm an Azure professional, so if I go for CCSP, will it be more easy for me? So team, definitely having a platform knowledge is good for you. As I told you before, having a platform knowledge is good for you, but never apply or never think about that vendor when you're writing the exam. Please do not think about that particular vendor when writing the exam. The reason is because I have seen that. Now you get a question in the exam. Let's suppose we are getting a question in the exam. What you will think is that if you're an Azure person, what you will do, you will think that particular question in Azure perspective. This is not a question. This is not an examination for what? This is not an examination for AWS or Azure or GCP, etc. This is particularly an examination for understanding your cloud governance skills. You have to think like a manager here. You have to think like a manager or a CISO or a cloud professional. It's not like you are working as a technical person who is implementing things on cloud computing, who is the AWS guy or Azure guy. So obviously you have to make sure that you leave your cloud provider specific mindset, and you have to start thinking about your business. You have to think like a manager. That's the first thing when you go for CCSP. The second most important point for going for CCSP is that, team, let's suppose that you are currently working in a company. Like for example, let's suppose that in my company, in the company which I'm currently working, I have a cloud policy. Okay, I have a cloud policy, I have a cloud strategy. Okay, in my company's cloud, as per my company's cloud policy, sensitive data can be taken to cloud platform. Okay, as per my company's cloud policy, sensitive data can be taken to cloud platform. But is it same for every organization, team? Can you take your sensitive data to cloud platform? Is it possible? Everyone here, is it possible for you to take all your sensitive data to cloud platform? No, right? Obviously no, because the reason is why for each of us, for all of us, the company is basically different. The kind of customers we are dealing is different. The kind of data we are dealing is different. So obviously we have differences. So do not think about your organization or one particular vendor when you basically go for the exam. Get the concepts right. That's a key point for the examination part. Okay, so for the textbook part, what, as I told you, what I recommend is the CCSP CBK 4th edition. This is what I am recommending, but you can always go for official study guide also. That's it. Now, okay, that's the next thing for me. I'm going to explain that only. So Tim, the next common question is that I have seen, this is something which most of, if you are a cloud professional, you definitely have seen this question everywhere, that will I get dumps for CCSP, or will I get brain dumps, or will I get the real exam questions for CCSP? Trust me, team, you will never get the real exam questions for CCSP from anywhere. I'm sure, because they maintain a very high level of confidentiality, and they keep on changing the questions every day. So basically, obviously, you will not be able to do that. Yes, 80% plus questions will be scenario based. The only thing is that when you practice maximum questions, when you go for CCSP and when you practice the maximum possible questions, the benefit you get is that it will give you a thorough understanding. Like for example, now let's suppose that there is a textbook called as a CCSP Official Practice Test, CCSP Official Practice Test, third edition. This is the official practice test given by S Square. This is a really good book you can basically go through. They have a domain-wise question. They have nearly more than 1,000 questions are there. You can basically go through this. Then there is something called as a CCSP Learn Z app. You can basically, search in your mobile phone app store or Play Store. What is a CCSP Learn Z app? Learn Z app. Then you have a CCSP Boson. Then you have other question banks in the market. So like this, you will get a lot of questions in the market for this. Practice every question. Don't memorize even a single question. Practice every question and understand why they came to the answer. For example, you see, I'll show you different lot of questions now, don't worry. But when you basically go for a question, you have to clearly understand why the particular author has gone to the answer A or B or C, so that you will have a clarity. Because now let's suppose that you try to memorize a question. Don't believe that these questions will come for the exam, but this will help you to strengthen your concepts. Okay, this will help you to strengthen your concepts. No exam questions can be available in the market. That's a very important point. So these are the ones I recommend. CCSP Official Practices third edition. Then if you want, you can go for the CCSP Learn Z app, which will give you a real exam writing experience. Then you can, otherwise, if you want, you can go for a Boson question bank. Like that, you can have multiple sets like this. This is basically good for practice for sure. And I will give you some multiple experience. This is my personal recommendation. See, those people who who basically I train, right? So normally what I say is that if there is someone who is coming for my training for CCSP, I tell them that, okay, after the training is over, take a month, take hardly 1 month, 1.5 month maximum, and I will give them a strategy, prepare this and write the exam. But there are people who wrote the exam immediately after the training is over. There are people who wrote the exam after 2 months. We have different kind of people. The reason is because, team, it's not about how much you're memorizing. It's about understanding your concepts. Get every points correct. Okay, and there are certain areas which I feel most important, certain areas which are not that much. That's it. So understand which is more critical to review that particular things in last minute. All these things can help you in the examination part. Okay. Now, team, just I want to add a few things. Now, let's say that when you basically go for an examination for CCSP, the first thing before I'll start the questions part for sure. I know the time is running up. So before that, one more thing I want to tell you is that, see, when you write this examination, okay, can you focus completely for 4 hours, team? What do you feel? Like, at least I cannot do that for sure. Can you practice continuously for 4 hours? A very set of challenge, a massive set of challenging questions, very tricky story questions are there in the screen. Is it possible for you to focus exactly for 4 hours completely? Definitely for me, it's no, for sure. Now, when you write the examination, after every 50 to 60 questions you're writing, okay, after every 50 to 60 questions you're writing, take 1 minute for one question. You have to take one by practicing more and more and more questions, which is available everywhere like this. You have to get a habit that you have to be able to answer one particular question in 1 minute. That's quite important for you. The second thing is that once you complete the first 50 or 60 questions, take a small break. Just sit idle for 5-10 minutes. Take a small break. That means just sit there, simply sit there, sit idle, just relax, and then go for the next 50, 60 questions. Again, take some 5-10 minutes break. If you basically go for this particular approach, it will make your mind, it will give your mind a simple restart, and you can focus on much better. Don't try to write all the 1 2 questions in one single stretch. Plus, utilize this 4 hours. That means that don't write, Krish, I have finished my exam on 1 hours and 20 minutes. No bonus you will get for that. There is no bonus for finishing first, or there is no penalty for finishing last. You can use all the 4 hours available. So just make sure you go through that. And one only thing which I don't like personally is that there is no option for going back. That means that now there is a question on the screen, you write the question and you click on next. You have to answer the question, and once you answer the question and click on next, you cannot go back to the previous question. That's one challenge we are having. It is not possible for you to go back to the previous question. Okay. Also, there is no option for marking for review. This is basically one challenge which I am feeling in CCSP. But again, continuous practice will help you to do that for sure. Okay, great. Yogesh, it's not like getting 70%. 70% on the CCSP, official study or official practices is, you can improve still, you can improve. Like whichever concepts you felt that those areas are weak, you have to review it again and go for the exam again. It will help you a lot more. Okay, that's it. Also, do watch videos which can basically help you for practicing more questions, like my videos or Prab's videos, or you can find a lot of things in the market. You can go for that.